standing by.
Get ready, boys.
It's like a West Coast game. It really is. It's almost midnight, and we're just about to start the post-game show. So let's get right to it. No more preamble. Start the post-game show right now. Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? The DLS Stars postgame show is here live as we have 3 wins in 3 games. But with Duchene on the thumbnail, we'll get to that. Alongside Craig Ludwig, our producer Ryan Vaughters, and Sean Shapiro, a surprise guest on remote. I say guest. He's a host. Part of the show. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us tonight. Guys, very much like my scooter, this one got started a little slow. Maybe stuck in parking mode, but once they figured out what their password was to unlock it, then the team got going and looked pretty good for most part. Unlike my scooter.
Is that from a show or something?
No, it's literally what happened about 3 hours ago. Remember when my scooter got stuck? I couldn't roll the wheels.
Oh, I've kind of forgotten.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Anyway, we made it. The Stars did not have a great start to this game as Minnesota had a really big push early on. Then Dallas got out of whatever emergency brake was stuck on, and they carried it for a while. And it got a little nervy, and then they won. So let's do big takeaways tonight. 5-2 win over the Minnesota Wild. They're 3-0, and they have 3 wins over division opponents already. All those are good things. Mm-hmm. But this doesn't feel like the finished project, and it's 3 games in. It rarely does.
Well, I think the way you described it, and again, the shots were 7-1, 2.5 minutes in for Minnesota, right? So Otter had to be good. He was good. So I think that if you take the beginning and the end out, the part in the middle is okay.
Yes.
But unfortunately, what happened in the middle is more concerning than the score or the game for me because of Matt Duchene. And because of the hit and where they are with their team and the lineup. And, there was already a spot missing on that left side. And so hopefully my biggest concern is I hope Matt is okay. I mean, I'm sure he's got his bell rung, but he did skate off himself. I didn't see anybody come out and help him.
Well, take a look. Here's the hit right now.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't do it justice, I guess. But I just want to say, when a guy like Middleton's on the ice, you got to know when he's on the ice. We talked about him on the pregame show. He's a physical guy. And he was tucked in the whole time. There's no elbow. There's no chicken wing here. And when you do go through it in slow-mo, Matt really never saw him. He didn't see him coming, which he's usually always got his head on a swivel. But this is, for me, and again, I know dinosaur years, but this is a textbook hit. This is how you hit. His feet weren't moving. They stopped moving while he was still inside the face-off circle area, and he coasted to where you saw that. So he had him lined up. And he never elevated. He never moved his knees up. And basically, they collided.
Sean, do you see that the same way?
Yeah, it's it's a hit that Luds, when you played the game, if this was a hit we saw, obviously there wouldn't be random YouTube postgame shows like we're doing right now, but no one would think twice about it. He was like, oh, that's a hit, right? That's a hockey play. And I think it's just one of those things where I think by the letter of the law and the way you look at it, that's a clean hit. That's a clean hit. Now, there's a larger question about where you want to go with the game and head contact and all of that, and that's a much larger discussion. But as far as a clean hit, that's one. I don't like it. I don't like seeing a player take a blow to the head, obviously, and I don't like seeing that. But from when you look at what Middleton did, he did everything that was within the rules there, and then I also liked that 2 things can be true. I like that, not that I like the hit, but I think it's a clean hit based on the rules. I also like that the Stars, a team that we watched, a Stars team do nothing when Roope Hintz gets slashed in the foot by Darnell Nurse 6 months ago. We've now seen back-to-back games where there's been big hits on key players on this team, and other guys have stepped up to do what they weren't willing to do in the past. With Justin Ritzkovian last game fighting Ross Colton after the hit on Miro behind the net. You see Petrovic step up tonight and fight Middleton after that. And I'm not, and it's not somewhere I'm calling for the Stars to go fight and have a fight every game. I'm not asking for the old Norris division days or whatever it was, but I do think this is something mentality wise for this team that I don't think they had in the past, just realistically, right? Like, and so often it was is like, okay, well, part of it was if number 14 was in the lineup, everybody looked right to Jamie of like, okay, hey, somebody went and hit our guy. Where's Jamie's response to it? Like, I've loved that during this time that Jamie's been out, that you've seen the Stars come up and kind of go through and respond in this way. So it's something that they're not going to fight their way to a championship or anything like that. But I do think it is a good reflection of the mentality that Glenn talked a lot about with this team of what he saw they needed to do after being part of the side that beat them the past 2 years in the Western Conference Finals.
Hey, and to your point, Sean, the first thing I said when that happened, and it may not be true, but I said, well, Petro's in the lineup next game. Only because of that reaction, which Sean is exactly right. We haven't seen that here for a long time. And I also agree with Sean. Like, there's been a period here where over the last few years, it seems like anytime there's a hit, there's a fight. And that's what we're talking about. There doesn't have to be a fight after. But this particular circumstance, the player that it happened to, and the respond, you're at home, and it's the beginning of the season. The team wants to play a little bit different than what they played last year. Again, you know, I beat the drum about they're the team that had the least amount of hits at the end of the year and at the end of every game. So I think for all those reasons, you know, it's the response that Petro, you know, went down and grabbed Middleton, which again, Petro knows Middleton too, and Middleton is a tough dude.
He is.
And he can fight, and he showed it.
Let me ask you more of a devil's advocate. I'm not arguing or debating with either of your takes on Middleton's technique of keeping the elbow down, staying in his stance, not charging and skating through his strides. But the principal point of contact appeared to be the head/chin of Matt Duchene. And we've seen the NHL's Department of Player Safety change over the decades from the point where...
But he never targeted the head.
Okay, fair point. But my question to you is...
I don't think he did.
Do you think the league will have any issue with the fact that his first or principal point of contact of that check is Matt Duchene's head?
I don't think so, because I think they're going to feel that the referees handle it. I don't even think there was a discussion. I don't know. I didn't, and I was going to ask you guys that. I didn't know. I didn't see four guys get together and kind of talk it over. Do you think that was a bad hit? It just was like there was no penalty. I mean, it was. I think they all went, that's a textbook body check.
Sean, do you agree? I mean, do you think because of the nature of how the league has started to change their ruling on contact to the head, it could have been considered that, but to Luds' point, there didn't appear to be any, at least consideration by the officials for a check to the head.
I mean, I think it's once again, I go back to something I said from the beginning, like the league, two things can be true, right? Like, I don't like the head contact here, and I don't like it at all. But if you're going to, like, if you go back, Ryan, if you go back to the still frame, right? Go back to the still frame here for me, if you can, of the hit. I know you're going to say, hey, principal head contact, but everyone's going to look at that head on the shoulder, but knees to knee at the same time, hip to hip at the same time. Like, this is a full body collision, right? Like, I know it's like you say principal contact. It looks like Matt Duchene's just running into a wall right here. This is just like, I mean, Luds, am I wrong on that perspective? Like, I know the head part looks rough, but the head, because the head is pliable and moves that way, it's always going to look worse here. But this just looks like a full player slamming into a wall named Middleton here, and that's how it looks to me.
What I'll say, Sean, is if you go back, if we had the ability to go back and look at this in slow-mo, Duchene sees him at the last second, and what he does is he straightens up. And when he straightens up and he tries to start to get out, right here, he sees him. He can see him out of the corner of his eye, And when he straightens up to get up, I think he's trying to get up and like basically sidestep him. And again, it obviously didn't work. And that's why when you look at him in still shots like that, it looks awful. I mean, but you can see where his chin is actually hitting the back of his shoulder. It's not making contact with the front of the shoulder. And that's just because he was so compact and Matt was standing up and he was going to try to avoid the hit at the last second, and it didn't work out. Now, I would understand if, there's a bunch of people that are going to say, I get it. Because if this is in Europe, the guy doesn't play in the league anymore. I mean, that's what they're trying to do is any head contact, you're out.
Well, and that's my only question. And again,
but we're not in Europe.
I'm not
Europe.
debating or arguing either of your takes on it. I just wonder if, because you say if you see Duchene start to raise up. Now, I don't think Middleton moves at all.
Never.
But is it his? I mean, this is more of a.
When you say it's his, what are you supposed to do?
This is the
you want
question.
Him to submarine him,
this is
or
the
do you want
question
him to
from
put
the
on the
league's
brakes?
perspective. Is it his responsibility to make sure he doesn't go through the head?
Not in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, again, as a defenseman and a hard-nosed defenseman, which he is, his job is to make body contact. Again, it's not supposed to knock a player out. I get it. It's a fast game, and sometimes, and it's faster now than it was before.
It is.
So I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people waiting to type in until you're a caveman. And I'll agree with that. But I'm just saying that is not – we've seen bad hits before, and we've seen guys elevate. We've seen guys jump up in the air. We've seen all that, and there was none of this.
To be fair, I'm not trying to sit here and say that I think Jake Middleton was headhunting. Right. I think he's trying to make a statement hit legally, but he does catch him in the head. And I'm not saying that he should have been penalized for that or he shouldn't be. I'm just simply asking. Now, as you see here, Ryan saying Gully thought hit was high. So Robert Tiffin just on Twitter, Gulletson said Duchene will need to be evaluated further. No update right now. Also, Gulletson didn't like the hit, thought it was high.
Well, here's my thing when we come to plays like this. Liam Bichel is going to flat wall someone in the next 3 to 4 games. It's going to happen. That's going to, I think so often with these hits and everything like that, we get very tied to the emotional part of who and what our fandom or rooting interest is on something like that. And so, if Liam Bichel delivers this hit to Matt Boldy, isn't it just a, hey, that's a big hit. That's a big hit. He's a big man. That's what he does. I'm just trying to play out of both sides of the kind of, I'm just trying to look at it the right way.
Right here, I just asked the Google machine.
What did the Google machine say?
As of October 2025, Jake Middleton has never been suspended by the NHL.
Okay.
He has, however, been involved in incidents, basically fighting incidents, but never been suspended.
Well, we talked about in the pregame show. Matt Dumba
and he didn't even
last year.
The only penalty he got was 5 minutes for fighting, right? That's all he got.
Yeah, he was not penalized on the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Petrovic got the instigator. Yeah. He obviously went over and instigated.
Right.
I actually don't have a problem with referees calling that when a player seeks out a player like Petrovic did, right? Fine. I just, on a total separate note, I find that referees using instigator is very inconsistent. There are times where frankly, I think that Rizgovian the other night didn't
something special if they want to review something.
Yeah, they would have had to call it a major.
That's how they review.
And then they can review it, and then they can take it away and make it a 2-5. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll see that a lot of times, but they obviously didn't even make that. Right. Sean, big concern over Duchene because of the fact he has to still be evaluated. Kind of gets you the feeling like it's going to be more than just, he maybe has tomorrow's practice off. And that's a concern for a deep Stars team, but Matt Duchene is a pretty important part of that.
Yeah, and with all injury stuff, right? Like I always hate injury speculation one way or the other because we don't really know what's going on, and especially when the nature of an injury like that, it's something that honestly there's information that even if we did get 100% truth serum from the Stars, they still couldn't. There's something, the nature of that, right? Like if it's a concussion or it's a head injury thing, there's answers they won't be able to give us until they won't even have themselves until tomorrow morning, right? Or even anything like that. So obviously a bit of a concern in that regard, but I also want to tap the brakes on speculating one way or the other because I think that's unfair, right? This is I think part of.
I'm just simply saying the impact of losing Matt Duchene for any period of time.
Oh, it would suck. I mean, it would absolutely suck. But it's also one of the realities of the NHL and the Stars team, and everyone kind of learns this is the time where it would suck and you have to figure it out, but it will be an opportunity for someone else. It will be something like Jamie Benn's injury led to an opportunity. Adam Ernie has an NHL contract right now because of Jamie Benn's injury. Justin Ritzkovian is doing what he's doing because of the lineup kind of filtration after that. So this is a spot where you were never going to go through the regular season with just 13, 14 forwards. You were never going to go through the season with just 8 defenders. Organizational depth always gets tested. And so if that happens in game, yes, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. It's something where you learn a little bit about yourself coming up. So I you really hope Duchene is okay. You really hope that this, you know what, he just got the wind knocked out of him and he's going to be okay and everything like that. But if it is something where he's out for a game, 2 or longer or anything like that, this is why you build a deep roster and you're going to learn a little bit about it. So.
All right, Brutal Truths with Sean Shapiro. We will get to more of that, take the breakdowns. We've got some interesting stuff all coming up. And, of course, don't forget, get your Super Chats in. We will take those a little bit later in the DLS Stars postgame show, which continues right after this.
We're going to talk about a new one.
Yes, we are.
It's called Own Well. When that property tax bill hits your mailbox, it'll hurt knowing you could have saved money using Own Well. Is your mortgage going up due to an increase in your property tax bill? It's time to set yourself up for big savings next year with Own Well. Their local tax experts fight for you to keep more of that hard-earned money in your wallet where it belongs. Next year, make sure you're only paying what's fair, all without hearings, paperwork, or wasted weekends. In just 3 minutes, you can sign up at Own Well. That's ownwell.com. If you have real estate in Texas, you know how expensive and complicated it can be. How big was that payment? How much did it go up? Just think about how much you're out of pocket over the years. You'll love saving money on your property tax without having to do anything. 86% of Own Well's customers get their assessed values reduced and saved on property taxes. Have I mentioned the company's called Own Well yet? Well, if you haven't heard, it's called Own Well. They deliver top results with an average of $1,100 as a savings. Sign up at ownwell.com/Texas. That's OWNWELL.com/Texas. Owen, it's called Own Well.
Yeah,
Owen,
it's kind of
did you know
similar,
that,
right?
Owen? It's called Own Well.
I love it. Let's talk about Shady Rays, though, Luds. And I'm not trying to bring that up as a sore
Yeah,
spot
yeah,
for
you
you.
do.
I
It's
know. But Shady Rays, we always talk about those moments where you realize that you've sat on your sunglasses and something just went crack, or you left them at the game and you're never going to see them again. Although you never know. Stars fans are pretty trustworthy individuals. Well, that's where you have Shady Rays, because it changes the game. They have sunglasses that are made for real life. Serious, good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. So if you actually do something and wear them to your favorite activities, they will give you lost or broken replacements without fear. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. All right, guys, let's break this one down. Obviously, the Duchene hit kind of, I think, took center stage, as it should have for the first segment, because I think that'll have a longer impact necessarily than a 2-point victory for the Stars. But suddenly the Stars have played 3 games, scored 5 goals in each of those 3 games, and have 6 points in the standings. It's a nice way to start. Glenn Gulletson even said, I think it was, maybe it was after the Winnipeg game or so, or no, it was right before the start of the season. He said, I'd love to go 10-0. He goes, but I'm worried more about process early. I'm not setting team goals in the first few weeks. We got to get to our game. But that's a whole lot easier, as we said before, Luds, to get teaching moments when you have 6 points out of 6.
Well, when you talk about the process is not where he wants it to be yet, right? And there's still areas that they've got to work on and get more cohesive in their own zone and things like that. But anytime you continue to win games, you're that much more willing to come into meetings the next day and watch video and stuff. And you enjoy it a little bit more because you know that's probably what can be shown is not the bad things. It's going to be areas that you can tweak. And so that's what kind of helps you buy in and say, hey, we're here. Now we got a little bit loose here. And then eventually it'll start to click.
All right, Sean, the first 5-6 minutes or so, trying to remember when that goal was. Yeah, it was, well, okay, the first 4.5 to 5 minutes. It looked like the Minnesota Wild were going to run the Stars out of the building, or that the Stars didn't realize that the late start was actually not later. Minnesota came to play early, but they also looked like they were the team that played the night before, because after that early surge, then they didn't have much of anything. So they had 6 of the first 7 scoring chances of the hockey game, and then they didn't have another one the rest of the period by my tracking. And it all started with Esa Lindell's goal from the top of the right circle. I don't think Philip Gustafsson saw any part of that seeing eye shot, did he?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that was a really nice work by the Stars. Nice work by Esa going against the grain on that. Oh, and when you were going through and tracking your scoring chances early in the game, how often do you look at location on it? Because I'm curious when you're watching that period and you're watching, obviously I thought there's a lot of volume for Minnesota early, and I think I kind of want to, and this isn't just just the course of the game, right? Like if you go, I'm looking right now at the heat map for natural stat trick where they go and track where the shot attempts came from throughout the game, and I know this game quantity wise is going to look like Minnesota caved the Stars in. Shots were what, 40 to 24 or something like that, right? So, but how many? There's a lot of things from distance. There's a lot of things that Jake was able to like. So I just when you're tracking your stuff by hand on there, like I don't know how often you look at location and everything like that for this, but when you kind of look at that start, like I think it was a good road start for Minnesota, but I also think that they'll get on the plane tonight thinking, you know what, there's a couple times where there's high danger areas we could have gotten to instead of taking the first opportunity. I think there was a lot of that early for Minnesota, and the Stars, to their credit, weathered it. And like the Esa shot against the grain there, where was anything like that from Minnesota in the first 5 to 6 minutes when they were kind of controlling possession? So I think that's an important note here of both credit to the Stars from where they kept everything, because I think they were slow on that regard, but also the commentary on Minnesota where they left some meat on the bone for what could have been to that start of that game, in my view.
Sean, I think Minnesota was tired.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there were like to your point. I think there were. They didn't get interior a lot of times, and again, we can show you if you're wondering. We can show you.
To break it down.
We can show you what happened on that goal, because I thought, what the puck? What is this thing now? I see. I don't get warned about none of this stuff. Is that what we're calling this? What
New
segment. Know I'm going to screw that up at some point. Well, here we go. So here's Esa's shot, and I believe this is Johansson who's out in front of him. And what you'll see, I want you to look at where the line is. That's where the puck is going, but look at where the goaltender's looking. Goaltender's looking to the left. Esa's shooting the puck over the right shoulder of Johansson. And so by the time he picks it up, it's already at the net. Now, what I did think at the time, because Gustafsson looks at Spurgeon right here, and I thought maybe he got interfered with and he couldn't grab that puck, or he couldn't make a leg save on it. But then when you look at it from another angle, you can tell where that puck is. And if I could take that circle away, which I didn't, that pad is not hitting the skate of Spurgeon. So he can't use that for an excuse, basically. I just want to send this, to the coaching staff over there in Minnesota. So if he wants to use this for an excuse, that's not what happened. Because this puck is, by the time his pad hits the skate, it's already past him. Go ahead, Sean.
Keep it frozen. Yeah, keep it. Go back to that image there, Ryan. Too.
Here, let me hit my button.
Yep.
That one, or you want me to go back further?
No, right here. Like people can see where the puck is. One of the things, and this is credit to Esa and anyone as a shooter, and if you're someone who is trying to score goals at an elite level or any level, the most difficult shot to handle as a goalie is the shot that's about 11 to 12 inches off the ice. That is the most difficult one. The NHL pad is a 10-inch pad. The spacing right below there, it's kind of that gap right there, where above the pad, below the gloves. And so this is one of those things where if you are shooting through traffic, if you're cutting through things, if you're looking back that way, the shooting about a foot off the ice is one of the most effective places to do it. And that's another thing that I think kind of comes into play here on this goal, and just something to watch when you look at shot selection. I think the Stars defenders have actually done a pretty good job throughout the season. We go back to Nils Lundqvist's goal from the other night. We
That's
look
why
at just
I
like
put that shot on there, because
yeah,
I knew Sean would want to touch on the 11 to 12 inches.
yeah.
There you go.
That's why I had
This,
that. Do you know how long I
this
had
is
to look for that puck right there?
you know, people have no idea how much pre-show production Luds and I do. Every single game.
You guys' commitment to your craft is unbelievable. Sean, to answer your question from earlier, you're right, because quantity does not always mean quality, which is why I started tracking this in the first place. The Wild had 6 of the first 7 scoring chances, but I had none of them as high danger. At the end of the period, and we'll get to the other goal and some other Stars chances in just a second, Minnesota outshooting the Stars after 20 minutes, 14-11, but Dallas actually had a shot attempts advantage of 24-19, and the scoring chances were 12-6. Most importantly, high dangers, I had 6-0, which kind of shows you that, yeah, so Minnesota had possession early. They had possession in the Stars zone early, but they didn't translate it into really grade A opportunities. Luds is right. Ottinger was good early, but it was the kind of early that Jake loves. And I was talking to him this morning. We talked about it in our pregame show. He loves early shot volume to get into a game, like he saw in Colorado. And he even said to me this morning, he thought that Scott Wedgwood probably struggled a bit early in the game against Colorado when the Avs had the puck a lot and Dallas didn't have a lot of shots.
I mean, the high volume start. It goes back to a story where one of the bigger problems with the quantity approach the Carolina Hurricanes take, and there was a former Hurricanes goalie there, no longer with the Hurricanes. They said that one of the most frustrating things about the way Carolina plays the game, the way they funnel the pucks to the net, everything like that, and it's the cycling can really wear teams down. But Carolina Hurricanes hockey can basically give goalies an extended warm-up for 10 to 15 minutes of a game. And it's something where I will allow anonymity so I can keep sharing this story. Basically, this NHL goalie said, hey, I'm looking at the other end of the ice. The other goalie is getting a 5-10 minute warm-up of shots to the gut because of such a people relying on, hey, every single thing has to be a shot. And so, like, it's not that shots are bad. I'm not saying that, but there is an element from a goaltending perspective of goals are scored in the NHL. They're scored through traffic. They're scored through shots where the goalie has to make a move after the release or there's a change in direction. One of the most dangerous shots in the NHL is the one where it doesn't look, where basically it's the kind of the quick flick wrister, right? The one where there's no pullback and release, because that's the one where you don't get the extra kind of time to track it and everything like that. And so Jake got kind of the ideal opening start to a period that you'd like. And then it also, from a goalie perspective, it's it helps, it milks those numbers up a bit too. So like, this is the ideal game for a goalie, right? Like, you walk away with 40 saves.
This. So Jake mentioned to me, because remember we were talking, I can't remember what day it was, it all blends together after a while, about how, and maybe this was something Lud said, of a goalie has to go down even if it's blocked in front of him, right? There's still effort. Yeah. If you're shooting pucks and they're being blocked by defensemen, the goalie's still trying to make a save. So it's still effort. And I said something to that effect to him this morning. He said, yes. He goes, actually, it's something that Casey DeSmith and I kind of not complain about, gripe about sometimes, is you make the effort, you read a play, you push post to post, and it gets blocked in front. You don't get credit for a save, but you did all the work to make a save because you had to cover that. But if it didn't hit, you almost rather it hit your pads because then you get the credit for the save. Now, I know that's arguing minutia, but I just think that's a really interesting insight to how goalies see and think about the efforts they put in to making saves that sometimes don't get to them.
I mean, how often have we talked about, how often have we talked about games that, hey, that's a tough game on the other end, right? Like one where a team is dominating possession or whatever, and then a team goes the other way and scores on the rush, or the first real grade A chance, right? Where someone's been stuck watching something. And so this is like, it's important to point it out. Like, take nothing away from Jake's performance tonight, right? Like, I think, for example, I think based on pure quantity, I feel like he got robbed a little bit in the 3 stars selection. I think that's something that is, but it's also important to kind of talk about what the environment he handled was, that he handled really well, where they need it's one of those things where
39 saves on 41 shots.
yeah,
Doesn't get into the 3 stars tonight.
yeah, and like it's like I think it's a prime example though of he's handling an environment that's given to him really well. And we talked about I was on after the first game against Winnipeg, right? And I know there's someone on social media who continues to blow up my mentions and loves to blow up the DLS mentions right now because I mentioned that Jake could have probably needed a save on either goal 3 or 4 against Winnipeg. But these are the games where if Jake lets in one of those goals in the first period on one of those shots, we're having the conversation of like, hey, if you're going to be a number 1 goalie, if you're going to try to be Team USA's goalie for the Olympics, you can't get beat on that shot. So there is an expectation of perfection on Jake Ottinger here that is not easy to maintain. So credit should be given here on, yes, it's the perfect storm of how you want to start a game as a goalie, 100%. But there is the expectation and pressure of perfection on it. And I think that can't be forgotten as well. So,
all right, we're going to break down more. I also have a quote from Jake Middleton on his hit with Matt Duchene. We'll read that next here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
I guess we're going to go over some shirts again here. Are we going to talk about the DLS merchandise thing?
Have at it.
Ryan, let's pull up the Otter shirt first. Since we're talking about Otter and we're complaining that he's not a star tonight, let's look at the star of a shirt. That's the Jake Ottinger Otter shirt that is the second coolest for me.
You think that's the silver medal right now?
Well, yeah, because I'm still thinking the Finnish Mafia one is to me, this is the best
shirt.
one.
It's a
and
really
I have my own
shirt.
brand, by the way. I have the Moose Mode shirt. This is the Ludwig brand.
That is a proprietary shirt.
Yeah,
Ludwig
this
Industries.
is a one-off. I think it's got some Chinese food on it right now.
Save it for later.
Wait, don't we got a couple more, Ryan? You couldn't even find them in the first part of the show.
Well, show him the new shirt and see if you can remember what it means.
Oh, yeah. Roddy, Roty, right? Rookie of the Year. Roddy?
Yes,
Roddy?
For whom is that shirt?
I don't know who it is. It's a female basketball player.
Paige Beckers.
Who?
Paige Beckers.
What team? I have never, I don't know nothing about it.
Dallas Wings.
I don't even know what happened to Dirk Nowitzki. I just heard he's not here anymore. I'm not a basketball guy at all. So there's the, I don't know who buys that shirt. Like, is this for chicks or
no? Everybody.
Or
if
anybody?
You're a fan, she is going to be one of the next big stars in the WNBA.
And what's the team? The
Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings.
Wings. Yep.
See, that's some.
We even have a podcast that's weekly here on DLS for the Wings. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You should talk to Bobby about that. Maybe a big basketball guy.
Maybe Sam can come and do that show. He doesn't like doing our show.
All right, let's talk about the Supporters Club really quickly here, because plenty of you out there, lots of wonderful support for Supporters Club. This is true sickle level stuff, because this shows that you are constantly watching our show live on YouTube, whether it's Stars, Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers. It gives you access to exclusive emojis in the YouTube chat that you otherwise wouldn't have. Plus, you get a badge, SC Supporters Club badge. And if you're at the second tier, you even get some exclusive content that you can only get as a Supporters Club member. So sign up. The link is in the chat right now. All right, Luds, before we get to your next breakdown.
I just want to say, Ben, if you're watching, if you're up and watching.
He just did a super chat, so he's watching.
If you get me the Roddy shirt, I'm going to wear it on our next show.
Ooh, Paige Becker shirt.
Where does that come from? Is it here? Is it in Denver?
It's a good question. I don't know if we have one here. It might be one they have to ship from the warehouse.
Okay.
So, all right. Here is from
baby blue. That's my color.
From our colleague in Minnesota, Michael Russo, who does a fantastic job covering Minnesota and also the NHL overall. This is his quote, Jake Middleton on the hit on Duchene. Quote, "It's a tough position because I know he doesn't see me and I'm still trying to take the body on him. I know he didn't come back to the game. I hope he's okay. There was no ill intent towards the hit. It was just kind of the perfect storm, really, the way it transpired." I think that's how all three of us saw that. Was it didn't look like he was maliciously trying to injure or hurt Matt Duchene. There was just concern of the fact that it clearly snapped him in the head.
And I can tell you, the last thing you're going to do if you're Jake Middleton, knowing everything that he just said, is bail out and don't hit him because I didn't want to hurt him. No,
that's not his game.
That ain't happening. That shouldn't be anybody's game.
Yeah,
and not in this sport.
All right, let's get back to the recap because after Esa Lindell scored, it feels like it snapped the Stars awake. They got into their game and maybe took some of the steam out of the sails of the Wild. Maverick Bork had a grade A chance, a little pass into the left slot, good save by Gustafsson. Rantanen had a one-timer from the mid slot. Then they get a power play. Rantanen had another chance that was a really good one from the right circle. And Wyatt had one deflect wide. And then Luds, he didn't miss. And this is a beautiful shot. Take us through the goal.
Speaking of Jake Middleton, here we go. This is perfect. What the puck? Well, this is Wyatt like at his best. But I think that, what is this one? Oh yeah. So okay, this is where it starts. So over here on the right hand side of the screen, well, this is Hintz and Middleton getting tied up.
Yep.
And there's a little tug of war going on here because Middleton actually lost his stick. Somehow it fell out of his hands. So I think what he's trying to do, he's trying to rustle the stick out of Roope's hands. So go to the next one here. And then so now we're kind of fast forward in here. Now you can see where they're kind of, he's got his hand still on the stick and he's trying to grab the stick here. He can find the puck. And then the next one, well, ultimately he doesn't get it. But what happens in this whole scenario right here, they're still tug of war. Nothing happens. Go to the next one here, Ryan. Let's fast forward to now. Here's Wyatt over here on the wall. Here's Middleton still hanging on to it.
Is that Middleton's stick on the ice there?
Yeah, that's his stick, and he's still trying to get Roope's stick from him, but he can't get it. Now, the next clip will show you Wyatt. Now, after he lets go, Wyatt notices he doesn't have a stick anymore. Now he's got him where he wants him. Wyatt makes a little bit of move, and then what Middleton does is at the last second, he goes down and tries to block it, and there's the whoopsie-doo by a pretty good player in Wyatt Johnston. And so anyways, and from this angle, I couldn't believe he got it up here, but he sees that from the, if I had the shot from the back, you can see it looks a little bigger from the back. But anyway, Wyatt gets around, makes a little space, and he puts it up underneath the bar over there. And I did draw a little circle there because I found the puck up on top right there.
Oh, look at that.
See how that timing comes up when I start talking about it? Anyway, that's Wyatt Johnston at his best.
Can you go back one frame, Ryan, to the one before right there. Sean, I didn't see this earlier, but is there any criticism in your mind for Filip Gustavsson maybe initiating into a bit of a post lean when he shouldn't, or is that just a split second move because all of a sudden Wyatt's bearing down on him in close range?
I think this is just a perfect, and we used the word perfect storm on the hit earlier, but this is a perfect storm of a Wyatt Johnston making a tremendous play, and this is a completely different play if the defender has his stick, right? And and that's kind of your default in your head from a goaltending perspective. So no, it's like if the defenseman has his stick right here, there's probably a shot right here, right, Luds? Right?
Yeah.
So it's like he's shooting right there. It's the lack of a stick, and credit to Wyatt for identifying it, but it's the lack of a stick that allows him to take the extra step and change that angle at the last millisecond for the goal, which is really nice play in going through that. But I think that has to be acknowledged here. There's no, look at the Middleton's hand right there. Just imagine he has a stick right there. That's in his left hand. That's there. That's kind of cutting off that angle there for the drive to the net. All of a sudden there's a different decision made. So I have a hard time blaming a goalie for anything on this. It's a great play by Wyatt Johnston, identifying a weakness in a spot and taking advantage of a situation.
All the credit should go to Roope having a better grip. Otherwise, yes. Middleton steals his stick.
Well, if he plays with Roope's stick, that's a penalty.
No.
But
how are they going to know?
No,
They're going to come over and check the name? They're going to come over and check his name in the middle of the play? There's two sticks laying on the ice.
And have you ever seen the clip? I think it's Bobby Ryan scores a goal with someone else's stick.
Yeah, got away with it.
Literally,
fair point.
Yeah, and got away.
How is a referee going to make the call?
The only way that would be is if Roope turned to the ref and said and complained about it in the middle of the play.
Yeah, but then the referee has to go, wait, well, let me see. Let me check.
But they all have their names on their sticks now, so it's pretty odd. But here's what I want to say. It was 31 seconds into the power play.
Oh, we had to get that part in there. That's what he wanted to get in there.
The reason why is that they got the puck to the net. No, because this is something we've been complaining about with the Stars power play at times is they're too perimeter based. They don't shoot. They pass around.
Because it's the second power play unit.
But
the second power unit gets the pucks to the net.
But this was the first power play unit tonight. This is Johnston. This is Hintz. This is Robo. Rantanen. They got the puck to the net. They created chaos. They got a retrieval, and they went back to the net, and that's where it creates the goal. And so they did it early. They didn't wait 45, 50 seconds to tire them out. They just went at it, and obviously they had success for it.
Yeah, and a little bit more direct play.
So then they get another penalty on it was Ryan Hartman for interference in the final 30 seconds. Carries over into the third period.
That was a dumb penalty.
You think?
Oh, let's take a look at it.
We were talking about it in the pregame show. You said he's been better.
I think he's been better until this. What the puck? So what? So here it is in open ice. Nothing going on, right? Hartman takes a little look over at Miro, and then he takes his right leg and he tries to kick Miro's left leg out,
That's
and
a
ultimately he does. Referee's standing right there, and so ultimately it ends up being a penalty, and he kind of gives him a little word on the way by, told him that he fell, but Miro might have embellished a little bit, but
That's
regardless,
though, coming from behind like that.
Well, it was kind of from the side, and they weren't even moving. They were both kind of just standing there. But it's a penalty. So, and that obviously led to
what do you think John Hines feels about that play?
Well, yeah, he's probably not happy about it because what was the score of the game?
It was 2-0,
and this was the third power play goal.
And it was the third power play goal, and Matt Duchene banks it off of.
Yeah. Well, we can take a look at it.
Who was the one that?
No, this is Zach Bogosian. No,
that's right.
It's next, but yeah. So, but again, this is why, like Steele, we got to hit the button there, Ryan. There we go. So here, this one here, I like where Steele is. Steele works his way to the front of the net, and this is Matt Duchene, still coherent, and this is early, but it's the battle in front, and because of that battle, and when Duchene, I'm not sure who we were talking. Was Matt trying to bounce it off? This is Zach Bogosian. So, anyways, he throws it to the front of the net. It hits Bogosian in the Bauer steal.
Yep.
But it's because of Sam Steele
tying
him up there that it goes off of the Bauer steal and Zach Bogosian.
So the question is, which steal was he actually aiming for?
Well, I believe if he was aiming, it would have been for Bogosian because Sam Steele's stick.
Say that 5 times fast.
This is puck talk. Sam Steele's stick was way to the left side, so there was no target there. So I don't know if Matt was trying to go all the way across the ice for a one-timer over there, but I don't think so. I think he just saw.
I think he was looking for Steele, and then just
So anyway,
lucky.
Yep, it went off of the Bauer steal of Zach Bogosian into the little net, and we got one last shot that shows you right where the puck is, so it is in the net. Anyway, okay, we can move the puck along.
I like it. So it's 3-0 at that point. It feels like Minnesota's completely dead in the water. Robo actually had a breakaway where he had to go to his backhand. Good save by Gustafsson. Then a penalty, and I remember Tiffin was sitting next to me, goes in the press box and goes, "Yep, you knew they were looking for one." Now, not that it wasn't a penalty, but just that, this was Nils Lundqvist for holding. He goes, "You got to be careful knowing that you've had 2 or 3 penalties in a row in your favor."
Well, he lost position on the wall. He didn't take the right angle, and Nils got on the wrong side of him. And then once he got a half a step, he did put his arm around him. But again, being a more diminutive player than your opponent, you always have to make sure you got to be in the right position. And he kind of went in straight at him, where you try to go where his momentum is. You try to lead with where the momentum is going. That way you can at least slow him up. You like that word, Sean? Diminutive?
I did, and that's also fitness testing champion Nils Lundqvist. Remember, we always have to mention that.
That's right, that VO2 max. The Wild hadn't had any high dangers the entire first period, but they had 3 after that point. 2 on the power play, Hartman and Kaprizov, and then 1 later from Eriksson Ek, who hit the post from the right circle. When he's healthy, Eriksson Ek is a problem. Yep. He's big, he's strong, he's good in the faceoffs.
He's defensively solid.
He's good in front of the net. Yep. When he's hurt, like he was in the playoffs for them last year, it's a huge gaping hole. Isn't it?
You can see they're going to be a good team. I mean, if Billy can add a piece or two down the road,
they need another line.
Well, yeah, they need a couple more guys that can be a threat.
Zuccarello healthy and another, another line or something.
I mean, again, they're not a bad team.
No. So then you go to the third period and you have the Duchene hit, the fight, and they get the power play, and Matt Boldy scores on a tip play on a Zeev Buyam shot. And this was close to the crossbar. I don't think there was really any doubt that it was legal, but Matt Boldy's such a good player.
There's an Olympian.
Yeah. No, no doubt.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
Even if Guerin wasn't the GM, which he is, and maybe that's why he got picked for the Four Nations roster, but he was really good for the U.S. at the Four Nations too.
I think when it seems like every time he's on the ice and he has the puck or he's around the puck, something happens positively. He's a big kid, and he works his way to the front, and he doesn't give up any room in the front of the net. Hard to defend. So yeah, there's a good player. I mean, that's why he's playing with Kaprizov, I suppose.
Really good player. And actually, I thought Boldy was more impactful for more of the game than Kaprizov was. Yep. But Kaprizov then scores a power play goal.
Kaprizov just has to take his wallet out of the back of his pants, and he's moving along a little bit better.
Do we have a big super chat here? We do, but you're gonna have to make that a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that ain't big
because you made it. There we go. Okay, Jordan with a Ritzkovian and 99 cup here, and now it's gone. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. It seems like the Stars are taking up more of the ice so far this season. What did they change that makes it feel that way? Edmonton was frustrating in the Western Conference Final because it was like they were everywhere. It feels like Dallas has adopted this. Go Stars.
Two things I'll say. It will seem like they're taking up more of the ice when they get a little bit tighter, because for me right now, when the puck is on the right side wall, there's 2 or 3 guys over there where, in my opinion, there should be 4, and you tighten it up and you have numbers around there. There's pockets in the middle of the ice. But I think the reason it seems like they're in the right spots now is because they're in the right spots now. There's not people just flying all over the place following other people around. He still has work to do with them because there's still indecision at times, like we talked about. But I would still like to see the high forward, like if it's on the right side, the left winger, and I would like to see the left defenseman get closer to the pile, because now there's a too big of a pocket in the middle of the ice, in the slot area. And you slide over a little bit more, tighten it up a little bit more, and it's more difficult to make passes through there. Your only dangerous guy would be the offside defenseman. And if it gets over there, all that center or the winger has to do, just take a step to the side, and now all of a sudden you're in a shooting lane. It buys time for everybody else to get back and play.
Sean, you watched this game tonight. You've watched the first 2. What are your thoughts before we get to the break?
I mean, I think Luds really nailed the schematic part of it, but I think there's something to the way that they are using, particularly with the forwards. We always talk about, a team wants to roll 4 lines, this, that, or the other, but Luds, you played the game. You know better than I at an elite level. If everyone's getting equal ice time, you're getting equal ice time, right? Like I think there's something to the fact where Glenn is going through and he's playing the guys who are playing well that night. He's finding the combinations that work, and I think there is an emotional human element to that. That if we're going to play 4 lines and they're all between 16 and 12 minutes. No matter what I do in those 16 or 12 minutes, I'm playing the same 16 or 12 minutes every game unless I am god-awful. And as opposed to now, there's if you're clicking tonight, you're going to go more. If tonight's your night, you're going to get more. I think there's something to that. There's definitely the whole schematic part that Luds summed up really well, but I think there is a human side to when you are coaching and you are rewarding things within the system of how guys play. I think guys respond well to that. I think that's something that I would love some truth serum from players on that, where it's like, hey, there's more to be earned here, because when we do earn it, we will get the reward. A lot of double talk there, I realize. I hope it made sense.
Forwards high for the Stars, 21:35 ice time tonight. Wyatt Johnston played 20 minutes and 16. On the other side, Nathan Bastian 6:39 and Justin Ritzkovian 7:27. So not all created equal, and there is a bit of more contrast there.
Yeah, and then as the score starts to get a bit closer, you start playing other guys. You know how everything was unfolding. But Sean's 100% right. Like before, it's just like a Rolodex. You just kind of, I'm going out. And so now you earn your ice time. But the other thing is, you're more engaged when you're playing. How many guys are playing on different lines and different pairs and different duos? Like it's happening all the time. Like Wyatt's playing up, and then Robo's playing over here, and Sam Steele's up here. But you have to be more engaged when you're doing that. So I think a lot of the guys are engaged, and I think what Gully's sending the message is, you better be aware of what's going on in this game and not just kind of going down to the end of the bench and then next line out, and you slide down a little bit, then you slide down a little bit, then you get on the ice, and then rinse and repeat. So everybody has to be aware of what's going on here. And I think the group is more engaged, and they know, like Sean said, they know I can earn a spot up there with Rantanen and Hintz, or I can earn a spot up there with Duchene and Sagan and Wyatt, or whatever it may be. So And he runs them. He runs them hot, and it's fast. And you can see him thinking on the bench and just looking around. So, and I don't think this is going to change. It's not like he's going to find a certain combination. But so when Robo is clicking up there, I think Robo should be up with Hintz and Ratton all the time. I mean, right now, I love the way Robo's playing. For me, totally different. He's got a shot mentality first, but he's getting engaged physically at times.
He is.
And he's skating, and the work ethic's there. Like, everything for him is clicking. I know there's
a lot of motivation.
Yeah, there's
him.
a lot of motivation. But
more than one thing.
Maybe money. I don't know.
Also,
maybe the Olympics.
Team USA, new contract.
Yeah.
Winning.
So, of course there is.
All that stuff. And he's healthy.
That's why players should only sign 1-year contracts.
Ooh, I like that. It's always a contract year.
Yep.
All right, up next, we'll take your super chats. We'll talk about the last couple of goals. We'll have some fun, and we'll get out of here because it's late. It's like a West Coast game for a Central Division start in the Central Time Zone on national TV here on DLLS.
Don't look at me because I don't know I have anything to say.
No, it's me. I have to do both.
I was going to say.
I'm glad you vamped, though, because I was actually,
what the puck is going on?
Ironically, I was laughing at something that GM Bed said in the chat. So he's enjoying me trying to hold a laugh when you're talking and I'm reading the chat. Anyway, let's talk about the DLS newsletter. Ali Jawad joined a couple weeks ago. He's on the Cowboy Show regularly, but he also is our newsletter writer. And 5 days a week, every morning, weekdays, you get the DLS newsletter in your email inbox for free if you sign up. It's very easy. All you have to do is go to alldls.com/newsletter, or it's even on the homepage. Just go to our homepage, scroll to the bottom, and just type in your address. You don't have to be a diehard. You should be, but you don't have to be. You just have to put your email in and hit submit, and you will start getting that. And you'll get great stuff about the Cowboys, Stars, Rangers, Mavs, even the Dallas Wings. I'm not going to go through that again. But either way, it's a great way to every morning get a little something. And maybe Sean wrote a new piece for alldls.com and it's linked in the newsletter, and now you won't miss a thing. Or maybe, as GM Ben is saying, is our new Mavs beat writer Ron is going to be there, and his stories will be in the newsletter as well. So check them all out. I met Ron the other day when we were here. Luds, you weren't here. He's a nice kid. Can't wait to see what he has to do for the new Mavs season. On the diehard side, the sale's gone, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't sign up to be a diehard. Sign up today. Use the QR code that is popping up on the screen right underneath Sean, because you should not only support DLLS, you should also get all the access to all the content that we create, whether it's articles by Sean, by Sam, by our new Mavs writer Ron, by, of course, Clarence, by Jeff with the Cowboys and Rangers, and, of course, you can, next time we do a Stars DLLS takeover event, you'll get access to it because we already sold out the first one. So most of the diehards got the early access to that sale. They got those tickets. They're going to come to the game with us, sit in the seats with us December 7th. The next one could be you, but you got to be a diehard to get that early announcement. All right, let's quickly go through the last two. Luds, Kaprizov's power play goal, a huge Eriksson X screen, makes it 3-2, makes things a little nervy, and then we get Faksa and Hintz empty net goals, and suddenly it doesn't look quite so bad.
The empty netters were nice because I thought on the first one, Robo with the nice pass.
Yeah.
And then Wyatt with the flipper up over the top that landed. And I don't think Roope wanted to put that in the net. He thought, because it was going in, but he was getting caught. He was trying to wait it out as long as he could. And so I read the last second. He
was trying not to snipe the.
No, he was going to take it away from
right?
Wyatt. Yeah, he didn't want to take it away from him. So you can tell they're all getting together now. I like that.
Let's get to our super chats here real quick because we are rapidly running out of time, and I very much insisted to our boss, GM Ben, that we were not going to be going into overtime on a late night in Game 3. So let's get to it, Ryan. We have, the YouTube thing changed the other days, and now we have their usernames instead of their nicknames, where it used to be a lot clearer. So hopefully that'll correct at some point, but we'll get to it. So Cooking Fourth One. Super chat, a Lundqvist in Year After the Cup. Every time I see Gully on the bench, he looks like he should be wearing a pinstripe suit holding a Tommy gun. Does he look like a
hitman?
A 30s gangster?
Yeah, he's got the slick back do going on, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. He still looks like a little schoolboy. Like, what was that? What was that? What was the show called with all the Go ahead, move on.
Sick reference, bro. Sorry, that's the drop. I had to. All right, let's go to GM Ben. The next Bing Bong, which is
There's like 5 seasons on Netflix or something.
Darian. Peaky Blinders.
There you go, Pinky Blinders.
But that's not Netflix. I think that's HBO.
I don't know.
Either way. A Darian Hatcher. See, we're switching. All due respect to Brendan Smith. We're going to Darian Hatcher. You're after the cup. Can Luds demonstrate that Middleton hit on Owen? Yeah. Look how much you would enjoy that. And then, of course, we had the Jordan massive super chat.
As he's coming around the corner, I'll blindside him right off his
right
scooter.
Off the scooter.
If he could get it out of park. He couldn't get it out of park today. He couldn't take his scooter.
And I made that reference to start the show tonight, and you were like, what are you talking about? And I said, and you're like, oh, yeah, that was way too long ago. But then it clicked back in.
Because I'm staring at it over there.
Yeah, it's over there.
Lights are on.
So
helmets dangling from the bars.
This is an interesting one for you guys. Man of the match today. Best player for the Stars, could be for the Wild. Who do you think deserves the man of the match tonight?
Go ahead, Sean.
Man of the match. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go because I don't think anyone else will pick him. I'm gonna go with Esa Lindell.
Ooh, the opening goal scorer.
And it's not just the goal. We talked a lot earlier about the territorial battle the Stars won. And I feel Esa wins that battle most nights, right? Like this team, obviously, everyone talks about Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen, and rightfully so, as their potential Norris Trophy level defenseman and everything like that. But Esa wins that battle, wins the net front territory. When you look at these heat maps and you see why people don't get to the front of the net, it's a big credit to Esa. And this is one of those games where Jake's loving this game. He's also loving this game because of the way Esa and a lot of the Stars D are playing. So I'm going to give credit to Esa for his overall performance. Typically, use him scoring as an example to do that, and showing a little bit of and that's a big goal and everything like that. So I'm going to go with Esa on this one.
I'm going to go with Robo. I'm going Jason Robertson. I think he only had 1 point tonight. I don't even know if he had a point, but
he did. He had the assist on the empty net goal for Radek Faksa.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So I just like the way he's playing. I mean, I think that the effort is way above and beyond that I've seen in the last year or so. He's getting pucks to the net. Every time he gets below the top circle, his puck's going to the net, and I think that creates a lot for everybody else, and it causes a little confusion when you're in a defensive zone. So I'm going with Robo.
It's not because he ended up with a 3-point night. Roope Hintz had a goal, an empty netter. He had 2 primary assists on the Esa goal and then the Wyatt power play goal. He was flying out there. And I don't know if it translated on TV, but from the press box, you could see we've talked about this before. There are nights where he looks like he's the fastest player in the league and one of the most dynamic centers in all of the NHL. And there's other nights where he doesn't look like that. Whether it's disinterested or doesn't have his legs, or he just reverts to the mean versus being one of the elite. He doesn't pop. He popped. But I'm actually not going to pick Roope. I'm going to pick Matt Boldy. He was incredible. I know that there was a losing effort, and
after all that, Roope, I'm not going to pick him though.
Matt Boldy played a game high 25-57. He played more minutes than any other player on the ice. He was -2, but he did score a goal. He had 17 shot attempts, 10 of them on goal. He was impactful. I said this before. I really like him as a player. And Sean, to your example about not all ice time is equal, just look at the Minnesota Wild time on ice. He and Kaprizov both, 25-57, Kaprizov 24-42. They're playing but they do not have enough depth at all. But yeah, I thought Boldy was.
That all you got? That's all you want to say?
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm good. What time are we done?
About 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Oh, Sean, we got a minute. You got anything you want to say?
Oh, see, now you're pulling a Sam like we don't have things to talk about.
Well, Owen is making an early season push to try to shed the homer label. That's what it is right now. He's going
Matt
hard.
Boldy was really darn good tonight.
He was
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, no, he was very good.
Is not a Owen's. Listen, I'm not afraid to pick my guys, but I just thought Boldy was one of the most notable guys on the ice.
Notable.
With that being said, Sean, Michael Dixon, our buddy from the ticket, 3 stars of the game. He was the one that picked them officially tonight. Wyatt Johnston, number 1. Roope Hintz, number 2. Kirill Kaprizov, number 3. A lot of complaints that Jake Ottinger with 39 saves wasn't on there. Maybe to Michael's defense, it's because he has to pick it with 5 minutes to go, and maybe those numbers crept up a little higher. But do you agree with those 3 stars with 20 seconds or less?
No.
Good job.
No.
You said or less.
I did. Okay. We have a show tomorrow. Stars actually backed up their practice time from 11:30 now to 12.
It already is tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. So later today, 2 o'clock, Sean will be on the show. Luds will be on the show. I'll be here. We'll just do this again. For Ryan Vaughters, our producer, we'll talk about green carpet, by the way, tomorrow. For Sean, for Luds, I'm Owen. Sam, feel better?
Green
We'll
carpet.
see you tomorrow.
Who's got
Bitches.
green carpet?
We all silly like the mayor.